Hello everyone, Gary Bonkowski back. Just got back from a four and a half day road trip up to Idaho, and note to self, return to Nevada. I saw some incredible riding up there, some between Vegas and Wills, Nevada. So right here, we kind of adjust the map here. Yeah, not Lake Mead. We passed Lake Mead. But between Las Vegas and Wills, all the way up into Eli right here, I just on 93. I saw OHV entrance after OHV entrance. So St. George, of course, is really good. Moab, this whole area right here, I will definitely be planning probably for late summer, early fall to hit back. On that note, so what I'm doing is I'm hitting everything in Maricopa County. So I've hit most things on the west side, short of Estrella Mountain Regional Park, which I just hit that, and that's what this video is about. Instead of going from the north through Goodyear, which is on the western side, I came from the south, and then I skirted up this corridor right here between the mountains themselves and this farmland. Then when I came out in this community right here, this oasis in the Estrella desert region called Estrella Ranch. And I think it's a retirement community. The homes were really nice. A couple of lakes, man-made lakes up here, and ended up at this clubhouse right here. You'll see it in the video. Beautiful pool, nice gym, lap pool, good area for kids with the grandchildren, golf course, really impressive. The trail itself, there's a network of trails in this corridor between the mountains and the farmland. And I have to tell you, I was not impressed at all. So there's a lot of erosion. A lot of the roads are worn pretty bad from flooding, maybe flash floods, possibly even alluvial plain, I'm not sure. But I probably will not return. I had a near accident, about 35 miles per hour. I hit a pretty deep trench, and it shook me, and I struggled to keep the bike on the trail. I did, but I pulled a muscle in my back, so I will not return. But Estrella is not bad. Take a look, and just know that the trails are not very well traveled, and you're going to have a lot of erosion. Let's go ahead and take a look. So there were some random holes around the side of the trails. It wasn't as smooth as some of the other trails I've been on, and there were just a lot more erosion right down the center line of the trail, and then off to the side, and then progressively, as I moved about the trail, I saw more and more erosion, and just wasn't sure where it was coming from. And it's kind of an odd place, but you'll see here soon that right on the right side of the trail, approaching here in a sec, you'll start to see like an entire area is just removed. Right there was where I hit that jarring bump, and it kind of launched me into some brush. So then I stopped and I reset. But then I got thinking about what could be the systemic causes to some of this serious, what I consider significant erosion, more than I've seen on other trails. So I looked around a little bit. It didn't take long to find credible information on the soil erosion situation around metropolitan Phoenix. In fact, there was a 2018 paper that was published by ASU's Erosion and Ronald Dorn, where they examined a period of intense soil erosion in outlying desert areas around Phoenix. The study was conducted from 1989 to 2009, and they looked at cattle stock ponds on the fringe of metropolitan Phoenix. They measured soil erosion from watersheds of different rock types, variable relief, and they considered land uses. The major soil erosion from the first decade was largely due to more precipitation and cattle grazing. But that second decade, if you remember the 2000s, Phoenix just exploded with construction, home building, and it was drier than it was in the 90s. So they concluded that desert urbanization processes accelerate soil erosion, resulting in the need for regulatory agencies to impose new restrictions. And then once again, I came up on this fence from nowhere, so I had to turn around and head back. So just another example of why this whole trail system out here is just a mess. It's not a good place to ride. Wouldn't recommend it. So this is really the first area that I've ridden off-road in that is adjacent to a major residential development. This would seem to support the 2018 ASU paper But this is all underlying or an effect of the urban sprawl that seems to be destroying the Sonoran Desert. Of course, that's a much larger issue, one that I'm not ready to tackle. But we know that this dangerous erosion that we see on the trails and the sides of the trails is due to flash flooding. Of course, that's the direct cause. And of course, if we remember our Geology 101, we learned that deserts lack the strong foundational plant cover that binds the topsoil together. And that, of course, hastens the soil erosion because there isn't much keeping it all together. And also, wind is another agent of soil erosion. And these trails are on the direct path of the westerlies, so no mountain range blocking the west to east movement of the prevailing winds. So the takeaway would be to avoid riding in areas that are adjacent to major living communities and construction projects. Then this random area popped up, and of course this hill looked like it was a man-made hill because it was pretty compacted. It was no problem for the KLR, the workhorse that it is. Like I said, you can see the ground here is pretty compacted. It's probably been there for decades and more than likely built for dirt bikes, but kind of a neat little place to explore. And then here, this area here skirts along the southern border of Estrella Ranch. And so the community that I showed you earlier on the map would be about a mile just north of here. But of course, they've got some standoff distance between the ranch and some of the wilderness. And I guess there were some cows that were grazing out here at some point. But a really good area to open it up. The trail along the southern edge of Estrella Ranch is very smooth, as you can see. And looks like it's frequented by farm vehicles and trucks. So pretty neat area to open it up in. And yet another gate, as you can see, to get out into another area of the farmland. It is a cattle gate, so I'm not really sure because I didn't see any cattle. I looked, I rode around the whole area. I didn't see any cattle anywhere. And you can even see the sign right there. It says FBN Cattle Company. So I'm not sure what happened to the cows or where they're at, but you would expect to see some out grazing. I just didn't. This is the clubhouse that I ended up at the end of the ride, like I mentioned in the introduction. Really nice area. This was the entrance to the community. I believe it's known as the Estrella Ranch. If somebody knows in the comments what it is called, let me know down below. I went into the clubhouse to get some pictures of the pool, beautiful pool. A couple of young ladies working the desk kicked me out. I'm not a member. So hopefully one day when I grow up and make a lot of money, I can get a nice home like what you see in this community here. Hope you liked this video. If you liked the video, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.